The ship shook violently as it cut through Earth's atmosphere. Lyrana gripped the controls with her six-fingered hands, her violet skin glistening with sweat. Warning lights flashed across the dashboard of her small scout vessel. The ship was badly damaged from the attack she had barely escaped. Now, as she plummeted toward the surface of this backwater planet, she knew her chances of survival were slim. "Emergency landing protocols engaged," said the ship's computer in the musical language of her people, the Zephyrians. "Warning, critical system failure imminent." Lyrana watched through the viewscreen as a vast green forest rushed up to meet her. She had studied this planet called Earth, but never expected to visit it. Her people saw humans as primitive beings, barely worth scientific interest. Now this primitive world might become her grave. The ship crashed through the treetops of the Montana wilderness, tearing a path of destruction before slamming into the ground. The impact threw Lyrana against her restraints. Pain shot through her body as something sharp pierced her side. The cabin filled with smoke as systems failed around her. With trembling hands, she checked her wound. The bluish blood that leaked between her fingers told her it was serious. Her life support suit was damaged too, unable to properly filter this planet's thick atmosphere. Already her lungs burned with each breath. Distress signal failed, the computer informed her before its voice crackled and died. Lyrana closed her iridescent eyes. The Drakari mercenaries who had attacked her ship would have tracked her descent. They would come soon to finish their job and take the vital intelligence data she carried. Data that could save her homeworld from invasion. Data that now would be lost. Miles away, Olivia Bennett drove her Forest Service truck along a narrow dirt road. As a park ranger in this remote region, she patrolled these woods daily. Before becoming a ranger, she had served as a military medic in conflict zones around the world. She preferred the peace of the forest now, though her medical kit remained always within reach. Through her open window, Olivia noticed a strange light in the sky. It moved too fast for a plane, leaving a trail of smoke as it disappeared behind a distant ridge. When she heard the crash, she immediately radioed in. "This is Ranger Bennett. Possible aircraft down in Sector 7. I'm going to check it out." "Copy that, Bennett," came the reply. "Backup will take at least 2 hours to reach you." "Understood. I'll assess and report back." Olivia grabbed her emergency pack and medical kit, then set off through the woods at a quick pace. Years of hiking these trails had made her strong and sure-footed. 20 minutes of hard walking brought her to a scene that stopped her in her tracks. Trees were snapped and scorched. A deep groove had been carved into the earth, leading to something Olivia could only describe as a spacecraft. It was sleek and silver, about the size of a small bus with strange glowing symbols along its damaged hull. This was no human aircraft. Caution warred with duty in Olivia's mind. Her training told her to check for survivors, but what survivors would she find in such a craft? Still, her oath as a medic compelled her forward. Part of the ship's side had torn open. Olivia peered inside, her flashlight beam cutting through smoke and strange mist. That's when she saw her, a humanoid figure slumped in what looked like a pilot's chair. As Olivia watched, the figure moved slightly, revealing a face that was almost human yet distinctly alien. Violet skin, large iridescent eyes, delicate pointed ears, and when the being turned to look at Olivia, translucent wing-like appendages shifted behind her. Olivia had expected to feel fear, but instead, her medical training took over. The alien was clearly injured. Blue liquid, blood, stained her side and pooled beneath her seat. "I'm going to help you," Olivia said, knowing her words wouldn't be understood, but hoping her tone would convey her meaning. The alien's eyes widened as Olivia climbed carefully into the ship. She tried to move away but winced in pain. "It's okay," Olivia said softly. "I'm a medic, a healer." She pointed to the red cross on her medical bag. To Olivia's surprise, the alien spoke. The words were musical and completely foreign, but a small device at the alien's throat flickered and then produced halting English. "Why, help." "Enemy?" Olivia shook her head as she carefully approached. "I'm not your enemy. I'm a human and you're hurt." The alien watched in apparent confusion as Olivia began to assess the wound. It was a deep gash, but the blue blood seemed to be clotting faster than human blood would. Still, the alien was clearly in shock and the ship's interior was growing colder by the minute. "My name is Olivia," she said as she worked, applying pressure to slow the bleeding. "What's yours?" The translation device crackled. "Lyrana." Lorana, Olivia repeated. I need to get you out of here and treat this wound properly. Lorana shook her head weakly. Danger comes, Drakari hunters. We'll kill, you too. Olivia didn't fully understand, but she grasped enough. Whatever or whoever had caused Lorana's ship to crash might be following. They needed to move quickly. Then we need to hurry, Olivia said firmly. She fashioned a pressure bandage from her kit and helped Lorana to her feet. The alien was lighter than she looked, her bones seemingly hollow like a bird's. As they emerged from the ship, Lorana looked up at the darkening sky with fear. Her translator managed, cannot breathe well. Your air? Olivia thought quickly, then reached into her pack for an oxygen mask from her emergency kit. It wasn't perfect, but it might help. Lorana eyed it suspiciously. Trust me, Olivia said, demonstrating how to use it. This will help you breathe. Reluctantly, Lorana allowed Olivia to fit the mask over her face. Her breathing eased slightly. Night was falling fast. Olivia knew they needed shelter, but her cabin was miles away. She quickly built a small, concealed lean-to using fallen branches and her emergency blanket. Inside, she checked Lorana's wound again and gave her water, which the alien sipped cautiously. As full darkness fell, Lorana stared at Olivia with confusion in her large eyes. Why help me? The translator asked more clearly now, as if adjusting to Olivia's speech patterns. You're kind primitive, not spacefaring. Olivia smiled slightly as she packed away her supplies. Maybe we're primitive by your standards, but we still help those in need. A distant sound made Lorana stiffen. It was faint but distinctive, the hum of engines different from any human aircraft. They come, Lorana whispered, fear evident in her voice. The Drakari. They will find ship, then find us. Olivia peered through the trees toward Lorana's crashed vessel, just visible in the moonlight. Then we need to move at first light. My cabin is hidden deep in the woods. We'll be safer there. Lorana's eyes reflected the moonlight as she studied this strange human who risked her life for an alien stranger. On her world, such trust was unheard of. Yet here was this primitive being, showing more courage and compassion than many of her own kind. As the distant humming grew louder, Lorana made a decision. She reached inside her suit and removed a small crystal device. If they find this, she said, many worlds die, including yours. Olivia looked at the alien device, not understanding its importance but recognizing the gravity in Lorana's voice. She nodded solemnly. Then we'd better make sure they don't find it, she said simply. Try to rest. We move at dawn. As Lorana drifted into an uneasy sleep, Olivia kept watch, her mind racing with the reality that everything she knew about humanity's place in the universe had just changed forever. Morning came with a soft golden light filtering through the trees. Olivia had dozed only briefly during the night, one hand always near the knife at her belt. She gently shook Lorana awake. We need to move now, she whispered. Lorana's eyes fluttered open, their iridescent purple hue shimmering in the dawn light. For a moment, confusion crossed her features, then remembrance and pain. She tried to sit up and winced. Your wound needs better treatment, Olivia said, helping the alien to her feet. My cabin is about 4 miles from here. Can you walk that far? Lorana nodded, though uncertainty showed on her face. The Drakari? Did they come? Something came, Olivia confirmed. I heard engines in the night, then lights near your ship. We need to go now while they're still focused there. Together they set off through the forest, moving as quietly as possible. Olivia supported Lorana when needed, guiding her over fallen logs and around thick underbrush. The alien moved with a strange grace despite her injury, her feet barely seeming to touch the ground. Your world, Lorana said after they had walked for nearly an hour, her translator working better now. It is very wet and green, Olivia smiled. This is just a small part of Earth. We have deserts, mountains, oceans. Like my world once was, Lorana said softly. Before the Drakari came. Before Olivia could ask what she meant, a distant sound made them both freeze. The whine of an engine different from any human vehicle echoed through the trees. Drone, Lorana whispered. Hunting drone. Olivia pulled Lorana beneath the low branches of a dense pine tree. They crouched there, barely breathing, as a metallic object the size of a large dog zipped through the forest above them. Its underside bristled with sensors and what looked disturbingly like weapons. Only when the sound had completely faded did Olivia dare to move. Come on, we're close now. 30 minutes later, they crested a small rise and Olivia's cabin came into view. It was a sturdy structure of logs and stone, built decades ago by her grandfather and modernized over the years. Solar panels on the roof provided power and a small stream ran nearby. It's not much, Olivia said, but it's safe. No one knows about this place except my closest friends. Inside, the cabin was simple but comfortable. A main room with a stone fireplace, a small kitchen area, a bathroom with running water collected from the stream, and a loft bedroom. Olivia immediately cleared the kitchen table and helped Lorana lie down. I need to properly clean and treat your wound, she explained, gathering her extensive medical supplies. Years as a combat medic had taught her to keep a well-stocked first aid station. Lorana watched with growing fascination as Olivia worked methodically, cleaning the gash in her side with antiseptic, stitching it closed with practiced hands, and applying bandages. Your medical knowledge, Lorana said. It isn't surprising. We were told humans were primitive. Olivia raised an eyebrow as she washed blue blood from her hands. Whoever told you that hasn't met many humans. After treating the wound, Olivia helped Lorana to the couch and brought her water and some food, simple bread and fruit. The alien examined these offerings cautiously before trying small bites. To Olivia's relief, she seemed able to eat earth food. Your atmosphere, Lorana said, her breathing still labored despite the oxygen mask Olivia had rigged to a small tank. It is too rich for my lungs. Too much oxygen, Olivia frowned, thinking, I might be able to help with that. A friend of mine, her name is Kate, she's good with machines. Maybe she could rig something up. Lorana looked alarmed. No more humans, dangerous. Kate can be trusted, Olivia assured her. And we need help. Those Drakari, whatever they are, they're looking for you, right? And for that crystal thing you showed me? Slowly, Lorana nodded. She reached into a hidden pocket in her suit and withdrew the crystal device again. In the daylight, Olivia could see it was about the size of a smartphone. Transparent, but with swirling colors deep within. This contains proof, Lorana explained. Proof of Drakari plans to attack many worlds, including eventually Earth. Olivia sat down heavily. Alien invasion plans? That's what they're hunting you for? I am intelligence gatherer, spy, you would say, for Zephyrian Defense Council. My people have fought Drakari for generations. They take worlds, strip resources, enslave populations. Lorana's voice grew stronger as she spoke. This data core proves they are planning largest attack yet. Against my homeworld and 5 others. And Earth? Olivia asked quietly. Earth is future target. Not immediate. They consider your world undeveloped, but with resources they want. Olivia took a deep breath, trying to process the enormity of what she was hearing. So these Drakari, they're here now? On Earth? Lorana nodded grimly. Small team only. Elite hunters. Led by Commander Krev, he is without mercy. Olivia stood and went to the window, peering out at the peaceful forest. Somewhere out there, alien hunters were searching for them. The thought seemed impossible, yet the proof was sitting on her couch, bleeding blue onto her bandages. I need to call Kate, she decided. We need help, and she's the only person I know who might be able to make sense of your technology. Reluctantly, Lorana agreed. Olivia used her satellite phone, the only reliable communication this deep in the woods, to call her friend. She kept the explanation vague, saying only that she had found someone injured who needed help and discretion. While they waited, Olivia helped Lorana clean up and gave her some of her own clothes to replace the damaged life support suit. The alien looked almost human in jeans and a flannel shirt, except for her violet skin, iridescent eyes, and the delicate, now folded wings at her back. Your people, Lorana said as Olivia prepared a simple soup for lunch. They are not united? Olivia laughed softly. Not even close. We have almost 200 countries, thousands of languages, countless different beliefs and ways of life. Lorana looked genuinely shocked. Yet you have not destroyed each other? We've come close a few times, Olivia admitted. We're still working on getting along. Then how will you fight Drakari when they come? If you cannot unite? Olivia stirred the soup thoughtfully. I guess we'll have to learn fast. A soft knock at the door made them both tense. Olivia motioned for Lorana to hide in the bathroom, then approached the door cautiously, her hand near the hunting rifle mounted on the wall. Olivia, it's me, came a familiar voice. Relief flooded through her as she opened the door to see Kate Murphy, a stocky woman with short blonde hair and clever eyes. Kate carried a large toolbox and a duffel bag over her shoulder. "You said it was an emergency," Kate said, stepping inside. "What's going—" Her words died as Lorana emerged from the bathroom. Kate's toolbox hit the floor with a crash. "Holy—" "That's not human." "Kate, this is Lorana," Olivia said calmly. "She needs our help." To Kate's credit, after the initial shock, she nodded firmly. "Okay, what kind of help?" Over the next hour, as Kate's scientific curiosity overcame her fear, they explained the situation. Kate examined the translator device at Lyrana's throat with growing excitement. "This is incredible," she said. "The miniaturization alone is decades beyond anything we have." "Can you fix it?" Olivia asked. "It's still not working perfectly." Kate nodded slowly. "I think so. And maybe I can rig something to help her breathe better, too." As Kate worked, Lorana watched her with growing amazement. "Your friend," she said quietly to Olivia. She adapts quickly. "Shows no fear." "That's Kate," Olivia said with a smile. "Nothing scares her except spiders." By evening, Kate had improved the translator and created a makeshift breathing apparatus using parts from her own oxygen concentrator that she used for welding. Lyrana's breathing eased considerably. "I also brought supplies," Kate said, unpacking the duffel bag to reveal food, ammunition for Olivia's rifle, and a small shortwave radio. "In case you need to contact me without the satellite phone." Olivia hugged her friend tightly. "Thank you. I know how crazy this all seems." Kate glanced at Lorana, who was examining the radio with interest. "Actually, it's the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me." She lowered her voice. "But Liv, there's something you should know. There are strange men in town asking questions. Dark uniforms, not military or law enforcement. They're looking for something that fell from the sky." Olivia felt a chill run through her. "How many?" "I've seen 4. But there could be more." After Kate left, promising to return in 2 days, Olivia relayed this information to Lorana. The alien's face grew grave. "Drakari can disguise themselves to look human," she warned. "Not perfectly, but enough to fool most. They will not stop searching." That night, as they prepared for sleep, Lorana on the couch, Olivia in a chair nearby, the alien studied her human savior with new eyes. "On my world," she said softly, "no one would help a stranger like you helped me. Especially not an alien one." Olivia shrugged. "I'm nothing special. Most humans would do the same." "Then perhaps," Lorana said, her iridescent eyes reflecting the dying firelight, "your people are more special than mine have believed." 3 days passed quietly in the cabin. Lorana's wound began to heal with surprising speed and her strength returned. The breathing device Kate had created worked well enough that the alien could move around comfortably, though sudden exertion still left her gasping. Olivia used this time to learn more about her unexpected guest. Lorana explained that her people, the Zephyrians, lived on a planet with lower oxygen levels and higher gravity than Earth. They had achieved space travel centuries ago and had established a peaceful federation with several neighboring systems. Until the Drakari came, Lorana said as they sat by the fireplace one evening. They attacked without warning. Took 3 outer colony worlds before we could respond. What do they look like? Olivia asked. Under their disguises, I mean. Lorana's expression darkened. Taller than humans. Gray-green skin, 4 eyes. Very strong. And they're here on Earth looking for you. For this, Lorana corrected, holding up the crystal data core. It contains proof of their plans. Locations of their fleet. Weaknesses in their defenses. If I can get this to my people, we might finally stop them. Olivia nodded thoughtfully. Can you contact your people? Let them know where you are. With Kate's help, I repaired my emergency beacon. Sent signal yesterday while you collected firewood. Lorana's wings fluttered slightly, a gesture Olivia had come to recognize as anxiety. But Zephyr is far. It will take days for rescue ship to reach Earth if they can send one at all. And the Drakari probably detected your signal, Olivia guessed. Lorana nodded grimly. Most likely. That night, Olivia woke to a strange sound. A faint rhythmic beeping came from somewhere in the cabin. She found Lorana already awake, hunched over a small device she had assembled from parts of her damaged suit. What is that? Olivia asked. Scanner, Lorana replied, her voice tense. It detects Drakari technology. Something is moving in the forest. Getting closer. Olivia immediately began gathering supplies, food, water, medical kit, ammunition for her rifle. We need to move now. They slipped out of the cabin into the cool night air. The forest was eerily silent, no birds or insects making their usual sounds. Bad sign, Olivia thought. The wildlife sensed something dangerous. Where do we go? Lorana whispered as they moved quietly through the trees. There's an old fire watchtower about 3 miles from here, Olivia replied. It's abandoned now, but still solid. We can see for miles from there. They walked in silence, Olivia leading the way through the darkness with practiced ease. Her years as a ranger had given her an intimate knowledge of these woods. Twice they stopped and hid as the whine of Drakari drones passed overhead. Dawn was breaking as they reached the watchtower. It stood on a rocky outcrop, a weathered wooden structure rising 50 feet above the surrounding forest. They climbed the creaking stairs carefully. The small room at the top was dusty but intact. Windows on all sides offered a 360-degree view of the forest canopy. In the distance, thin columns of smoke rose from what Olivia realized with a shock was the direction of her cabin. They found it, she said quietly. They burned my home. Lyrana placed a 6-fingered hand on Olivia's shoulder. I am sorry. This is my fault, Olivia shook her head. No, it's the fault of those who are hunting you. She raised her binoculars to scan the horizon. What she saw made her blood run cold. About a mile away, a group of figures moved through the forest with military precision. They wore what looked like black tactical gear, but even from this distance, something about their movements seemed off, too fluid, too coordinated. Drakari ground team, Lyrana confirmed when Olivia described what she saw. They track us. How? We were careful not to leave a trail. Lyrana's expression was grim. They have technology that can detect Zephyrian biology. My skin cells, breath particles, things too small for humans to track. Olivia considered their options. The watchtower offered visibility but was ultimately a trap if discovered. They needed a better plan. Your rescue ship, she said finally. How will they find you? Lyrana took out a small silver device from her pocket. Beacon will activate when they are close, but it will also alert Drakari. So we need a diversion, Olivia mused, and a better place for pickup than this tower. They spent the day watching the Drakari search pattern and planning. Olivia's satellite phone had no signal, likely jammed by the aliens, but the shortwave radio Kate had left them still worked. Olivia sent a brief coded message that they had prearranged. Bluebird moving to the old fishing spot. Bring tools. By mid-afternoon, dark clouds had gathered, promising a storm. This would help conceal them from aerial drones, but would make ground travel more difficult. As the first raindrops fell, they left the tower and headed east, toward a small lake Olivia knew well. The journey was treacherous. The rain soon became a downpour, turning the forest floor into mud and making the steep slopes slippery. Twice they had to hide as Drakari search parties passed nearby. Olivia was impressed by how human the aliens appeared from a distance, though something about their movements remained distinctly unnatural. Night had fallen by the time they reached the lake. On the far shore stood a small boathouse, long abandoned but still sturdy. They waded through shallow water to reach it, hoping the rain would wash away any tracks or scent. Inside, they found Kate waiting for them, along with supplies and a small gas-powered generator. Your message came through, Kate said, hugging Olivia tightly. I was so worried when I heard about the fire at your cabin. You heard about that? Olivia asked. Kate nodded grimly. It's all over the local channels. Unexplained forest fire. And those men in black are everywhere now, calling themselves government investigators. While Kate set up the generator to power a small heater, Lyrana used parts from it to enhance her communication device. The improved transmitter would reach her people more clearly, but would also be more detectable by the Drakari. When is your rescue ship expected? Olivia asked. Lyrana's expression was hard to read. If they received my signal and sent help immediately, tomorrow night at earliest. Kate looked between them. So we just need to hide until then? No, Lyrana said firmly. Drakari will have ships in orbit soon. They will detect any Zephyrian vessel entering your system. Rescue becomes impossible then. How soon until these Drakari ships arrive? Olivia asked. 2 days, maybe 3. They looked at each other in silence, the gravity of the situation sinking in. If Lyrana couldn't be rescued before the Drakari blockade was in place, she would be trapped on Earth, and the vital intelligence she carried would never reach her people. We need to get that data to your people, with or without you, Olivia said finally. Can the data core be transmitted somehow? Lyrana shook her head. Too much data. Would take days to transmit even with your best technology, and Drakari would detect and block signal. Then we need a better plan, Kate said, her practical nature taking over. Can your people land somewhere less obvious? Somewhere the Drakari wouldn't expect? Lyrana considered this. Perhaps. But where? The old military base, Olivia suggested. About 20 miles from here. It was abandoned years ago, but the runways are still intact. Too obvious, Kate argued. If we can think of it, so can they. They debated options well into the night. Eventually, they settled on a risky plan. Kate would create several decoy beacons using parts from the generator and her tools. These would be placed in different locations to confuse the Drakari. Meanwhile, Olivia and Lyrana would make their way to a remote mountain meadow that was large enough for a small ship to land. As dawn approached, Kate prepared to leave with the decoys. I'll plant these at least 5 miles apart, she said. Should keep them busy for a while. Olivia hugged her friend. Be careful. These aren't normal people you're dealing with, Kate grinned. Trust me, I'll stay well hidden. She looked at Lyrana. Good luck getting home, Space Girl. After Kate left, Olivia and Lyrana gathered their remaining supplies. The storm had passed, leaving the forest dripping and mist-filled. Good for concealment, but it would make travel slow. Your friend, Lyrana said as they prepared to leave. She risks much for someone she just met. Olivia smiled. That's Kate, loyal to a fault. Loyalty, Lyrana mused. My people value knowledge, power, advancement. But loyalty to strangers? This is unusual to us. Maybe that's why the Drakari are winning, Olivia suggested gently. You can't fight alone. They set out toward the mountains, moving as quietly as possible through the wet forest. The Drakari scanner Lyrana had built remained silent, which was both a relief and a worry. They had no way of knowing how close their pursuers might be. By midday, they had covered several miles. They stopped to rest in a dense thicket, sharing the last of their food. Lyrana seemed lost in thought. What will happen, she asked suddenly, when my people come? If they come, you'll go home, Olivia said simply. Take that data where it needs to go. And you? Olivia hadn't thought that far ahead. Her cabin was gone. Her quiet life as a ranger had been shattered by knowledge that could never be unlearned. Earth was just one world among many, and not all the neighbors were friendly. I'll rebuild, she said finally. Start over. Lyrana studied her with those strange iridescent eyes. My people should know about humans like you. We have been arrogant, thinking ourselves superior. They found a defensible position among a cluster of large boulders. Olivia quickly arranged their few supplies, checking her rifle and the hunting knife at her belt. She had only 15 rounds of ammunition, not enough for a prolonged fight. These Drakari, she asked Lyrana, can they be hurt by bullets? Lyrana nodded. Yes, but they heal quickly. And their armor is strong. Weak points, neck, joints, eyes. Lyrana pulled something from her suit, a slender metal rod about a foot long. With a flick of her wrist, it extended into a spear-like weapon with a glowing tip. This will hurt them more. The scanner beeped faster as the Drakari drew closer. Olivia took a deep breath, steadying her nerves. It had been years since she'd been in combat, but the training remained. If this goes badly, she said quietly, the data core is what matters. Promise me you'll run if you get a chance. Lyrana looked at her with surprise. You would sacrifice for data? For my people? For all people, Olivia corrected. Earth included. Before Lyrana could respond, a voice called out from the forest edge. A human voice, but with odd inflections. Zephyrian Scout. We know you are there. Surrender the data core and your death will be quick. Olivia and Lyrana exchanged glances. Neither responded. The human with you will die slowly if you refuse, the voice continued. Is this primitive creature worth such suffering? Anger flashed in Lyrana's eyes. Commander Krev, she whispered to Olivia. The leader. Suddenly, movement caught Olivia's eye. A small metallic sphere arcing through the air toward their position. Acting on instinct, she fired at it. The bullet struck true, and the device exploded in midair with a blinding flash. Stun grenade, Lyrana explained as spots danced before Olivia's eyes. They come now. The attack was swift and coordinated. 3 figures in black tactical gear rushed their position from different angles. Though they looked human at first glance, their movements were too fast, too precise. Olivia fired twice, hitting one in the chest. The Drakari staggered but didn't fall. The alien's face seemed to ripple, the human disguise faltering to reveal glimpses of gray-green skin and multiple eyes. Lyrana moved with surprising speed, her spear weapon slashing at another attacker. The glowing tip cut through the Drakari's armor, drawing a spray of yellowish fluid. The alien shrieked, a high chittering sound no human could make. The third Drakari reached their position, knocking aside Olivia's rifle with superhuman strength. She fell back, drawing her knife as the alien loomed over her. Its human disguise was failing now, revealing a tall, muscular creature with 4 pupilless eyes and a lipless mouth full of sharp teeth. Olivia slashed at its neck, but the Drakari caught her wrist, slowly bending it backward. The pain was intense, bones nearly at breaking point. Then suddenly the alien jerked and released her. Lyrana's spear protruded from its back, the glowing tip visible through its chest. "Move!" Lyrana shouted, pulling her weapon free as the Drakari collapsed. They ran, abandoning their supplies. More Drakari were closing in. Olivia still had her rifle slung across her back, but she knew they couldn't fight them all. The forest grew denser as they climbed higher into the mountains. The ground became steeper, the air thinner. Lyrana struggled to breathe despite her device, but pushed on with grim determination. Night was falling when they heard the sound that changed everything, a vehicle engine. Not the strange whine of Drakari technology, but the familiar rumble of a human truck. They crested a ridge and saw it, an old pickup truck bouncing along a narrow forest service road. Behind the wheel was a face they recognized. "Kate!" Olivia shouted, waving frantically. The truck skidded to a stop. Kate leaned out the window, her face scratched and dirty but very much alive. "Get in," she yelled. "They're right behind me." They scrambled down the slope and into the truck, Lyrana in the middle, Olivia taking the passenger side. Kate gunned the engine before they'd even closed the doors. "We thought you might be dead," Olivia said as they bounced along the rough road. "We saw the explosion." Kate's expression darkened. "They found one of the decoys. I barely got away. These aren't men, Liv. I saw one of them change." "We know," Olivia replied grimly. "Where are we going?" "The old mining complex," Kate said. "It's the only place I could think of with enough open space for—" She glanced at Lyrana. "You know, a pickup." The mining complex had been abandoned decades ago when the ore ran out. It sat in a high valley, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides. The main feature was a massive concrete landing pad where helicopters once delivered supplies and personnel. It was fully dark by the time they reached it. The truck's headlights illuminated crumbling buildings and rusted equipment. Kate drove to the center of the landing pad and cut the engine. "This is as good as it gets," she said. "If your people can find you, this is where they should land." Lyrana nodded and took out her beacon. "Once activated, it will bring both my people and the Drakari. We must be ready." "How long?" Olivia asked. "If rescue ship is near, minutes. If not—" Lyrana didn't finish the thought. They quickly formed a plan. Kate would position the truck to provide cover. Olivia would use her rifle to keep the Drakari at bay if they arrived first. Lyrana would protect the data core at all costs. With everything ready, Lyrana activated the beacon. A soft blue light pulsed from the device, accompanied by a gentle humming. Now it was a race. Would the Zephyrian rescue arrive before the Drakari? They didn't have to wait long for an answer. Headlights appeared on the access road, multiple vehicles approaching fast. "Take cover!" Olivia shouted, positioning herself behind the truck's engine block, rifle ready. The vehicles stopped at the edge of the landing pad. Doors opened and figures emerged, at least 8 of them, all in the same black tactical gear. They spread out in a standard military formation. "Zephyrian," a voice called out, the same one from before. "Commander Krev. Your beacon calls to empty sky. No rescue comes for you." Lyrana looked up at the night sky, searching for any sign of her people. Her expression fell as she saw nothing but stars. "Last chance," Krev continued. "Give us the data core and these humans may live." Olivia fired a warning shot that kicked up concrete near the lead Drakari. "That's close enough." The response was immediate. The Drakari opened fire with weapons that looked like rifles but shot pulses of energy instead of bullets. The truck's windows shattered as energy bolts struck it. Kate cried out as one grazed her arm, leaving a burned gash. Olivia returned fire more carefully now, aiming for weak points Lyrana had identified. One Drakari fell, then another, but they kept advancing. using the abandoned mining equipment as cover. We can't hold them off much longer, Kate said, pressing a hand to her wounded arm. Lorana looked at the data core, then at her human defenders. A decision formed in her eyes. Take this, she said, pressing the crystal device into Olivia's hand. If I don't survive, find way to get it to stars. Before Olivia could protest, Lorana darted from behind the truck, her spear weapon ready. She moved with incredible speed toward the Drakari, her wings partially extended to help her leap over obstacles. Lorana, no, Olivia shouted, but it was too late. The alien charged directly at Commander Krev, who had dropped his human disguise completely. The Drakari leader was nearly 7 feet tall, his gray-green skin covered in scars, 4 yellow eyes glowing in the darkness. Their weapons met with a shower of sparks. Lorana's spear against Krev's energy blade. Despite her smaller size, Lorana fought with skill and desperation, scoring several hits that drew yellowish blood from the commander. Olivia provided covering fire, keeping the other Drakari back. Kate, despite her injury, had found a toolbox in the truck and was frantically working on something. "What are you doing?" Olivia asked between shots. "Making a surprise," Kate replied, connecting wires to what looked like the truck's battery. In the center of the landing pad, Lorana was losing ground. Krev's superior strength was telling, and a vicious slash had opened a wound across her chest. Blue blood stained her borrowed clothes. "Surrender, spy," Krev growled, his voice no longer attempting to sound human. "Your mission fails." Lorana stumbled, her spear dipping. Krev moved in for the kill, and Olivia took her shot. The bullet struck the Drakari commander in one of his 4 eyes. He roared in pain, falling back. Using the distraction, Lorana retreated toward the truck. She was badly wounded, her breathing labored. The device Kate had made for her damaged in the fight. "It's ready," Kate announced, holding up what she'd built. A crude but powerful electrical device. "Get back!" She threw the device toward the advancing Drakari and hit a remote trigger. The explosion of electrical energy was blinding, sending the aliens into convulsions as their systems overloaded. In that moment of confusion, something new happened, a sound from above like rushing wind but stronger. A blue light bathed the landing pad, brighter than the truck's headlights. "Look," Kate shouted, pointing skyward. A ship appeared, seeming to materialize out of nothing as some kind of cloaking technology deactivated. It was sleek and silver, similar to Lorana's scout vessel but larger. It descended rapidly toward the landing pad, hovering 20 feet above the ground. "My people," Lorana gasped, relief in her voice. They came. The Drakari were recovering from Kate's electrical attack. Krev, one eye ruined and leaking fluid, pointed at the hovering ship and barked orders. His troops raised their weapons. The Zephyrian ship accelerated beyond Earth's atmosphere, the blue planet shrinking to a jewel-like sphere behind them. Olivia stared out a viewport, overwhelmed by the reality that she was leaving her world. Everything she had ever known was on that small blue dot. "You are troubled," Lorana said, joining her at the viewport. The alien's wounds had been treated by Zephyrian medics, blue bandages covering the worst cuts. "I just left my entire life behind," Olivia replied softly. "And I don't even know if Kate survived." Lorana nodded sympathetically. "I understand loss. When this mission began, I did not expect to return." The ship shuddered suddenly. Alarm sounded, and the Zephyrian crew moved with urgent purpose. "What's happening?" Olivia asked. "Drakari cruiser," Lorana explained, pointing to a display screen where a large, menacing ship had appeared. They must have been waiting in orbit. The commander of the Zephyrian vessel, an older female named Solara, barked orders in their musical language. The ship banked sharply, accelerating away from Earth. "Can we outrun them?" Olivia asked. Lorana's expression was grim. "Not likely. Their warships are faster." On the screen, a beam of energy shot from the Drakari cruiser, narrowly missing them. The Zephyrian ship returned fire, but its weapons seemed weak in comparison. "We are not warship," Lorana explained, seeing Olivia's concern. "Rescue vessel only. Minimal weapons." Commander Solara approached them, her wings slightly extended in what Olivia had learned was a sign of respect. "Human," she said through Lorana's translator. "The data core is safe in encrypted transmission. Already sending to Zephyr. But we may not escape." Olivia processed this. "So even if they catch us, the information gets through?" Solara nodded. "Yes, but Drakari will not forgive. If captured—" She didn't need to finish the thought. Another hit rocked the ship. Systems flickered and a panel exploded in sparks. Crew members rushed to contain the damage. "We have solution," Solara continued, "but requires sacrifice." The commander pointed to a small auxiliary craft docked within the ship's bay. Escape pod with limited jump capability. One pilot, one passenger, can reach jump point while main ship acts as decoy. Lorana's eyes widened. "Commander, no. You cannot sacrifice the crew." "Decision made," Solara said firmly. "Data must reach Council directly." With proof of human assistance, Olivia suddenly understood. "You want me to go with Lorana?" "As evidence that humans helped," Solara nodded. "Your presence changes everything. Shows humans are potential allies, not primitive species to be ignored." Another hit rocked the ship more violently. Warning lights flashed throughout the bridge. "Shields failing," a crew member reported. "Capture imminent." "Go now," Solara ordered. "We will delay them as long as possible." Lorana hesitated, clearly torn between duty and loyalty to her fellow Zephyrians. Olivia took her hand. "They're giving us a chance," she said quietly. "Don't waste it." They ran to the docking bay where the small craft waited. It was barely large enough for two, with sleek controls and minimal life support. Lorana took the pilot seat, her hands flying over the unfamiliar controls. "Can you fly this thing?" Olivia asked as she strapped into the passenger seat. "Not well," Lorana admitted, "but better than you." The main ship shook with another impact as the small craft detached. Through the viewport, Olivia watched the Zephyrian rescue vessel turn directly toward the Drakari cruiser, all weapons firing in a suicidal attack run. "They're sacrificing themselves," she whispered. Lorana didn't answer, her focus entirely on piloting their tiny craft away from the battle. On a small screen, they watched as the rescue ship collided with the Drakari cruiser. The explosion was brilliant but silent in the vacuum of space. "Did they survive?" Olivia asked. Lorana shook her head, grief evident in her eyes. "No, but they damaged Drakari ship enough to prevent pursuit." She entered coordinates into the navigation system. "We have chance now. Small window to reach jump point." "Jump point? Space where we can activate faster than light travel. Reach Zephyr in days instead of years." The small craft accelerated smoothly, Earth and its moon falling far behind. Olivia tried to process everything that had happened in the past week. From finding an injured alien in the woods to leaving her planet entirely, it seemed impossible. "What will happen when we reach your world?" she asked after they had traveled in silence for some time. Lorana seemed to choose her words carefully. "You will be first human most Zephyrians have ever seen. Many will be curious, some afraid. And the data? Will it help stop the Drakari? If Council acts quickly, yes. Information shows weaknesses in Drakari fleet positions. Opening for decisive strike." Lorana paused. "But politics on my world are complicated." Before Olivia could ask what she meant, a light flashed on the control panel. Lorana tensed. "What is it?" Olivia asked. "Ship approaching." "Not Drakari design." A new vessel appeared on their scanner, smaller than the Drakari cruiser but larger than their escape craft. Its design was unlike anything Olivia had seen. "Mercenary ship," Lorana said, recognizing the configuration. "Scavengers who work for highest bidder. Are they after us?" "Most likely. Drakari would pay well for us." Lorana's hands moved rapidly over the controls. "Jump point still too far." "Cannot outrun them." The mercenary ship fired a warning shot across their path. A message came through in a language Olivia didn't understand, but Lorana's reaction made its meaning clear. "They demand surrender," she translated. "Say they will disable ship if we refuse." Olivia looked around the small craft for weapons, finding none. "Can we fight?" "This is transport pod, not fighter." Lorana's expression was grim. "But I will not surrender to those who would sell us to Drakari." She made a sudden decision, changing their course toward a debris field, remnants of some ancient space battle. The mercenary ship followed, firing warning shots that came progressively closer. "What's your plan?" Olivia asked, gripping her seat as the craft swerved violently. "No good plan," Lorana admitted. "Just desperation." She navigated through the debris with remarkable skill for someone who claimed not to be a good pilot. The mercenary ship, larger and less maneuverable, had to slow its pursuit. Suddenly, Lorana pointed to a large piece of wreckage ahead, what appeared to be the remains of an enormous engine. "There," she said. "If calculations correct, residual energy could mask our signature, make us invisible to scanners. And if your calculations are wrong," Lorana's laugh was short and tense, "then we join the debris." She piloted the craft directly into a gaping hole in the ancient engine housing. Inside was a cavernous space, dark except for occasional sparks of energy dancing along corroded surfaces. The craft settled into a hiding spot and Lorana shut down all non-essential systems. "Now we wait," she whispered, and hoped they passed by. Hours crept by as they huddled in the dark craft. The mercenary ship circled the debris field, scanning methodically. Several times it came so close that they could see its scarred hull through gaps in their hiding place. During this tense wait, Lorana revealed something she had been holding back. "There is truth I have not told you," she said quietly. "About my position." Olivia raised an eyebrow.
"You're not a spy?"
"I am intelligence operative, yes, but also more." Lorana seemed uncomfortable. "I am Zephyrian royal line. What humans would call princess." Olivia stared at her. "Your royalty? Why wouldn't you tell me that?" "My mission was secret and—" Lorana hesitated. "I was sent not just to gather intelligence, but to evaluate potential allies against Drakari threat." "You were assessing Earth?" "As an ally?" Lorana nodded. "Many on Council believe humans too primitive, too violent for alliance. I was sent to confirm this assessment." "And what did you find?" Olivia asked, though she suspected the answer. "I found courage where I expected fear, compassion where I expected suspicion, loyalty where I expected betrayal." Lorana's iridescent eyes held Olivia's gaze. "I found I was wrong about humans. My people are wrong." Before Olivia could respond, an alert flashed silently on their panel. The mercenary ship was moving away, apparently giving up the search. "We should wait longer," Lorana said. "Ensure they truly gone." They sat in silence for another hour before Lorana cautiously reactivated their systems. The scanner showed no pursuing vessels. "Path to jump point clear," she announced with relief. "We can continue." The small craft emerged from its hiding place and resumed course. Ahead, the stars seemed to warp slightly, a visual distortion that marked the jump point. "Preparing for faster-than-light travel," Lorana said, manipulating controls. "It will feel strange to you." "Stranger than everything else that's happened?" Olivia asked with a wry smile. The craft accelerated toward the distortion. As they entered it, space itself seemed to fold around them. Olivia felt a moment of intense pressure, then a sensation of being stretched impossibly thin. Colors she had no names for flashed across her vision. Then, as suddenly as it began, the sensation ended. Outside the viewport, the star patterns had completely changed. "We made it," Lorana said, relief evident in her voice. "Jump successful. 4 days travel to Zephyr now." The journey passed in a blur for Olivia. They subsisted on emergency rations designed for Zephyrian metabolism, but tolerable to humans. Lorana taught her basic phrases in the Zephyrian language and explained their governmental system, a complex arrangement of royal houses and elected councils.